Well, hello YouTubers. I'm smoking my Aprilwolf Olive Churchwarden with some McClelland's Christmas Cheer 2011. I'm smoking the last of it now these days. And I've decided to do a video about something that has only very little to do with pipe smoking. I've mentioned in some of my last videos that I'm doing some seminars on mindfulness, which is being concentrated and attentive to what is happening to me and what I'm doing in the present moment. To learn this, I'm doing mindful sitting, mindful walking, mindful breathing as formalized practices. But I also do mindful tea drinking. And I have noticed that it is a quite wonderful thing to mindfully smoke a pipe. Concentrating just on this moment with my pipe, the taste, the smell, the feel of the pipe, tamping carefully and mindfully. Being centered and being with what I'm doing. And I've noticed that this somehow fits into something that I've developed in the last years, which is a new respect and a new appreciation of symbols and rituals in my life as a Christian. For example, we have to do a short mindfulness practice of about 3 minutes, 3 times a day. This is our homework that we have to do now, that I'm doing for months now. And I have attached it to 3 prayer times that I have developed for my day. I have tried for many years to establish a practice of, let's say, daytime prayer times, and about 2 years ago I found a very, very short ritualized prayer with gestures, and I practice this 3 times a day when I stand up in the morning, before I go to bed, and somewhere around 12 o'clock. Not long, very short. Something I can do nearly everywhere where nobody's around, so sometimes I have to go to the toilet to pray, which is rather biblical if it comes to that. And since a few months I have just added this calming down of mind, body and breath, and becoming aware of myself and what is now just in front of my prayer. And I find that this is very, very helpful to have a short period of calming down and becoming concentrated on the prayer I am going to speak and the gestures I will make. This teaches me a new appreciation of gestures, of rituals that I have missed in long times of my Christian life. And I come from a evangelical church surroundings where rituals and symbols are not very important. sometimes looked down upon as ritualistic, Catholic, something we don't do, because we have a spontaneous and direct relationship to Jesus, and we don't need all these rituals. They just hinder us to express ourselves. But with time I have come to realize that this is only a part of the truth, that I at least need rituals and symbols to give me a kind of stability in my daily life. Not only that, I have also started to acquaint myself with the symbol of the cross. Here I feel that there's a lot of I have a lot of difficulties to allow myself this symbol, exactly because it is such a symbol of Catholicism. And all my religious upbringing goes against this kind of symbolism. Now my wife has just come in. She's creeping through the living room, heading towards the kitchen. She doesn't want to come on video, so I won't film her. But it is something I practice more and more because it helps me to show to myself, to tell myself that I'm a Christian who is covered by the blood that Jesus shed on the cross, that my life is covered by this death and resurrection, and it is a symbol of expressing it to myself. I think it is something that has to do with becoming older, and that I don't feel the necessity to be that spontaneous anymore, which makes it easier for me to do things spontaneously. It's rather paradox, but that is the way I feel about it. And it also is something where I allow myself to do things that I would never have allowed myself to do when I was younger. I've learned to care less about what people think of me. I still do, but less. So I can do things now while I'm quite sure that some people will think it's strange what I do. I wear a kilt, I smoke pipe, both things that are rather unusual, at least in Germany and at this time. I shaved off my hair last year, and it's something that some people still haven't really come to terms with. But I care less about it. And it's always a good idea. I do YouTube videos. At least in my family there's nobody else who does YouTube videos. And then of course, pipe smoking itself is a ritual. Filling the pipe with a good tobacco. Even before that, choosing a pipe that I want to smoke, choosing a tobacco that I want to fill in, filling up, lighting, tamping, puffing slowly. It's a ritual. and it's a ritual that I love. So why shouldn't I allow myself rituals in other parts of my life? I believe this whole thing started many years ago when I had a depression. I had a depression that forced me to go to therapy, to think very, very hard about how I want to live my life. And I also had a very, very close look at my beliefs. And I noticed that I had always seen God as someone whom I had to please so that he could love me, which is something that can lead you into depression, because I know myself too well for that, to believe that I'm just lovable as I am. And somehow I'd learned that I have to change so that God can accept me and love me. And in the aftermath of my depression, I realized that this is wrong. That I don't have to do anything. I don't have to change for God to love me. Paul writes in his letter to the Romans that Jesus died for us while we were still enemies of God. He already loved me there, and so I don't have to earn his love. I can change because I am loved by God. And I think this was the turning point where I started to realize that I don't depend on things that I do, and I don't depend on being somebody who I am not, changing into something that I am not. And I started to realize that I'm free from all these fetters. And it's a rather long-term and slow development that is taking place in me. But there is change. There's a lot of change. And it feels really good. And so I'm content. I live in the now. I smoke my pipe. I drink my tea. And I live my life with my Lord and Savior. I hope this wasn't too disjointed a ramble. If it was, tell me. Ask questions. If you want to hear something more about something I've said now. And otherwise, see you again here on YouTube. Bye.